Go back to when Peter and I were looking to put this together. Peter was well ahead of me because I was on the selling side, but we Peter looked at it as a legacy investment for his family. I looked at it as more wanted to get the Padres to where they needed to get to. So we knew this was going to happen. It was a question of when, not if. And frankly, after 61 years of being in business, I started at 15. It was time, and I talked to Peter about it in early September, and we were able to put a deal together fairly quickly. Personally, I think I have the best of both worlds. I get to hang around for a while. I get to do some things at baseball, MLB that I like, and I'm still available to talk to Peter about things that he thinks are priorities or where he thinks my input might be valuable. So for me, it's as close to a win-win as you can get. And Peter is aware of everything's going on, so it's not like he's a newbie and he's been involved. So I'm looking forward to the future, and maybe I can just sit there and eat my hot dogs and not have to worry about anything else. The COVID-19 situation really had an impact on me in terms of downsizing, and I've done it many times in business, but you get to know a lot of these people, and when we had to do it, it really bothered me. And to see this team that AJ and the rest of us had put together to come together and play, but not to even be able to be there as a fan, that really bothered me. And then based upon all the research that was being done by the experts on baseball on COVID-19, and the reality is that a portion of 21 is going to be impacted also. I just didn't, I guess, have it in me to go through this process again. And I talked to Peter in early September and said, I think it's time. And he very graciously, we sat there, and I think in a period of about an hour, we had agreed on what we would do. And he's been a great partner, and I look forward to him being continuing to be a partner, but he in the lead role, me in a supportive role. And I think it's going to be good for the organization and good for me. In terms of the fans, maybe they didn't appreciate it at the time, but when we went all in on the 2016 international signing, that's not something the Padres would normally do. So I think that was the biggest thing. But from a Major League Baseball perspective, this might seem strange, but when we were able to get the 2016 All-Star Game, to bring it to San Diego, many people in New York, I don't think, realized there was life west of the Hudson or west of the Mississippi. And when they came out here for that All-Star Game, and they saw what we were all about, they saw Petco, they saw what we were doing out here, they realized that San Diego was a place. I think they accepted maybe San Francisco and LA, but I think that put us on the map, that we are people out here, that we are a good organization, that we have a great ballpark. And that, I think, did as much for us in creating an awareness and an impression of baseball to use studies and such. And I think it gave the organization a sense of pride. So two big things happened in 16, but I think from a baseball standpoint, it was the signing and the international signing, but from a perception in Major League Baseball, I think was the All-Star Game. I think patience is something you have to learn with baseball. There's no instant gratification in baseball. I think we tried that early on, and it didn't work. So there has to be the eye on the prize, so to speak, where you want to go, but you have to have what I call a sort of a measured restraint in terms of how you get there. There aren't shortcuts. I mean, you might get lucky on a move or two, but there needs to be a plan, and then you need to execute against the plan and not deviate from it that much. And with working with Peter, working with AJ on the baseball side, we were able to do that. mean, it took us a while to get there, but I think we got there, and I think Peter and AJ going forward are going to continue to build on that. Probably Peter is a bit more reserved in his enthusiasm than I am, and maybe not as candid, but I'm an old man. They don't expect old men to be sort of quiet. They ask a question, you expect an answer, and I think Peter will be probably more politically correct than I am, but as it relates to managing the place and such, we are aligned, and I think it's going to be very similar. But the hope, I think, for all of us is Peter can take it beyond where I was able to take it. And as a fan, I'm looking forward to that.
Ron mentioned earlier when we first met in 2012, and ultimately agreed to put the deal together to buy the Padres. It came clear to me very quickly that we were very like-minded when it comes to business, fundamentally. And I think that's really played out over the past 8 years. You take any two human beings, style-wise, they're going to be a little bit different. And I think people know our styles are somewhat different. But I think the fundamental passion to want to bring a world championship to San Diego is what drives this whole organization. And, even in our adjusted roles here, I don't think either one of us are going to sleep well at night until that is accomplished. And to me, that's really the most important thing. I'm excited, 100%, maybe even more than that. The San Diego Padres and the city of San Diego have a big responsibility to the city, not just our fans, but primarily to our fans, but really to the city. And I think one of the themes that's been ingrained in the culture of our organization is the two-word phrase, continuous improvement. I think Ron first mentioned that, and it stuck. And that's the way I look at it today. We're in a good spot. We've had the best postseason in over 20 years, but it's not where we want to go. So whether it's on the business side or on the baseball side, nobody's taking a deep breath and saying, boy, wasn't that, great and everything we want it to be. It was not everything we wanted it to be. We're hungry. We want more. And I'm very excited. And as Ron knows, he's going to be getting plenty of phone calls from me. So for him to think he's going to get a lot of time off, we'll see how that plays out.